Good morning once again, folks. Dirk here at GC Blues 45. Now, folks, as you know, going on right now in Minnesota, we have the World Junior Championships. Now, I know what some of you folks saying, what are the World Juniors? The World Juniors Championship is the players that are under 20 years old, and they play for junior league teams around the nation and around the globe. And they have a tournament every year, and that's what's called the World Juniors. And Team USA, I mean, we are the defending champs now, folks. This goes on. This started the day after Christmas. I mean, sorry, the day after Yeah, the day after Christmas, and goes on all the way through January 5th. So I'm going to give you the review of all the games going into today, or from from the past all the way through yesterday's games, and then we'll get into today's games going into what will be the quarterfinals and stuff. So let's get right into it. So remember, if you haven't come across this video and haven't liked it, give it that thumbs up doodle. It's very important. Helps to keep the channel going. Remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe icon. Be notified every time I upload a new video by clicking the bell icon. All right, I'll start December 26th with Sweden and Slovakia. That's right, Slovakia. And this game was for 60 minutes, and the final score of that was 3-2. Sweden had 32 shots with Slovakia 25. Both teams had 29 saves, and both teams were 2 for 3 on the power play. Next was Denmark and Finland. That's right, Denmark and Finland. And this game went 60 minutes, and the final score of that was 6-2. Finland 6, Denmark 2. Sweden wins 3-2 by way against Slovakia. Shots on goal were Finland 43, Denmark 10. Finland had 8 saves with Denmark's 37. Finland went 2 for 2 on the power play with Denmark 1 for 3 on the power play. Next was the defending champions, the United States of America, taking on Germany. And this game also went 60 minutes, and the USA wins by a score of 6-3. Shots on goal were the USA 47 and Germany 21. The USA had 18 saves with Germany 41. USA went 0 for 3 on the power play with Germany 0 for 2 on the power play. And finally, it was Czechia versus Canada. And this game went 60 minutes, and Canada wins by a score of 7-5. Canada had 27 saves with Czechia 33. Canada had 28 saves with Czechia 20. Canada went 1 for 2 on the power play with Czechia 0 for 2 on the power play. And the points went Sweden has 3. See, in the the International Independent International Hockey Federation, you get 3 points for a win, 2 points for overtime win, 1 point for OTL, and no points for a loss. So Sweden has 3 points, Slovakia 0, Denmark 0, Finland 3, Germany 0, USA 3, Czechia 0, and Canada 3. The next day we also have 4 games, and Slovakia played again. They took on Germany. And entering the matchup, Slovakia was 0-0-0-1 and no points. Germany 0-0-0-0-1 and no points. And at the end of 60 minutes, Slovakia beats Germany by a score of 4-1. That's right, Germany's second loss. Shots on goal were Slovakia 38, Germany 35. Both teams had 34 saves. Slovakia went 2 for 6 on the power play with Germany 0 for 1 on the power play. And also, Slovakia picks up their first 3 points of the game. Now they are at 1-0-0 1-0-0-1. So very good by Slovakia. Germany loses their second game. Next, we get a chance to see Latvia. That's right, Latvia taking on Canada. And this one had to go into overtime. So after 60 minutes, this had to go into extra period. And by the way, Canada played the night before, so they're 1-0-0-0. And Canada wins in overtime by a score of 2-1. Shots on goal were Canada 38, Latvia 27. Canada had 26 saves with Latvia 36. Canada was 0 for 2 on the power play with Latvia 1 for 2 on the power play. Latvia picks up the point. Canada picks up the extra point. Give them 2. They're now at 5 for the next. The USA back at it, this time against Switzerland. Switzerland. And this game ended in 60 minutes with the final score USA 2, Swiss 1. Swiss? Did you say Swiss? Yes, I did. Me love Swiss, especially Swiss chocolate. Thank you. Thank you. Shots on goal were USA 20, the Switzerland 17. It's kind of hard to say that. Switzerland. USA 16 shot saves, and the Swiss. No, let's just say Swiss. 18. USA over 2 on the power play with Swiss. The Swedes. Or Switzerland 0 for 2 on the power play. Switzerland's first loss, our second win, and a big 6 points now. Then finally, it was Denmark gets Chesnia. Denmark was 0-0-0-1 and no points. Chesnia 0-0-0-1 and no points. This won 60 minutes, and the final score was Chesnia 7, Denmark 2. Shots on goal, Chesnia 33, Denmark 15. Chesnia had 13 saves with Denmark 28. Chesnia went 0 for 2 on power play with Denmark 3 for 6. Now, after day 2, this is how the points looked. Slovakia 3 points with a record of 1-0-0-1. Germany 0-0-0-2 and no points. Latvia 0-0-1-0 with 1 point. Canada 1-1-0-0, 5 points. USA 2-0-0-0 6 points. Switzerland 0-0-0-1 and no points. Denmark 0-0-0-2 and no points. Chesnia 1-0-0-1 and 3 points. So on the 28th, we only had 2 games. Switzerland at 1-0-0-0 and 3 points, taking on Sweden. Actually, Sweden at 1-0-0-0 and 3 points, taking on Switzerland, at which were at 0-0-0-1. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Swedes beat the Swiss 4-2. The Swedes 30, the Swiss 32. The Swedes had 30 saves with the Swiss 26. Sweden was 0 for 1 on the power play with Switzerland 0 for 3 on the power play. The Swedes pick up their second win. The Swiss, their second loss. And then finally was Finland versus Latvia. Now Finland are already played, and they're at 1-0-0-0 with 3 points. Latvia 0-0-1-0 and 1 point. And at the end of 60 minutes, Finland clobbers Latvia 8-0. 8-0. Shots on goal were Finland 41, Latvia 7. Finland had 7 saves with Latvia 33. Finland went 2 for 2 on the power play with Latvia 0 for 1 on the power play. And after day 3, Sweden and Finland are still undefeated, with Latvia still have a point and the Swiss have 0 points still. All right, on the 29th, we had 4 games against Germany and Sweden. Yeah, Sweden again. And Germany was 0-0-0 and 2 and 0 points. Sweden 2-0-0-0 and 0-0-0-0 and 6 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Swedes beat the Germans by a score of 8-1. I mean, they clobbered them. Shots on goal were 44 for Swedes, German 17. Sweden had 16 saves with Germany 36. Sweden went 4 for 5 on the power play with Germany 0 for 2 on the power play. And this was the 3rd loss by Germany. They might be playing that A4 and B5 matchup, which will be on in 2 days, folks. So we'll find out today. And we'll get to that in a moment. But Sweden picks up their 3rd win. They're now at 9 points. Next was Finland at Chesnia. Yeah, Chesnia. Entering the matchup, Finland was 2-0-0-0 and 6 points. Ches 1-0-0-1 and 3 points. This game had to go to overtime, and the final score was Chesnia 2, Finland 1. Shots on goal were Chesnia 26, Finland 23. Chesnia had 22 saves with Finland 24. Chesnia was 1 for 4 on the power play with Finland 0 for 5 on the power play. So Finland picks up a point. They're now at 2-0-1-0, but Chesnia now is at 1-1-0-1 with 5 points. So they pick up their first win. Next was Slovakia versus the United States of America. And this was a very close matchup, but the USA beats Slovakia by a score of 6-5. Yeah. Shots on goal were the USA 41, Slovakia 33. 31, sorry, 31. The USA had 26 saves with Slovakia 35. USA was 2 for 3 on the power play with Slovakia 2 for 4 on the power play. USA picks up their 3rd win to 9th point. Slovakia, their 2nd loss, puts them now at 1-0-0-2. The USA staying undefeated. And finally, on the 29th was Canada versus Denmark. Canada at 1-0-0-0 and 3 points. Denmark 0-0-0 and 2 and 0 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, Canada just beats out Denmark. I mean, they wailed them by a score of 9-1. Shots on goal were Canada 49, Denmark 13. Canada had 12 saves with Denmark's 40. Canada went 2 for 2 on the power play with Denmark 0 for 2 on the power play. Canada now, after day 4, approves to 2-0-0-0 and 6 points. Denmark 0-0-0 and 3 and no points. Then yesterday on the 30th, we had 2 games. Switzerland and Germany. Entering the matchup, Switzerland was 0-0-0 and 2 and no points. Germany 0-0-0 and 3 and no points. And at the end of 60 minutes, it was a shutout by Switzerland by a score of 4-0. That's why Germany gets shut out. Shots on goal were Switzerland 48, Germany 20. Switzerland had 20 saves with Germany 44. Switzerland was 1 for 6 on the power play with Germany 0 for 4 on the power play. Germany's 4th loss, and they pretty much have locked up the bottom spot in the A pool. Sweden gets their first 3 points of the game. They're now improved to 1-0-0 and 2 and 3 points. And finally, yesterday, Latvia versus Denmark. Latvia entering the matchup was 0-0-1 and 1 and 1 point. Denmark 0-0-0 and 3 and no points. And at the end of 60 minutes, Latvia beats Denmark by the score 6-3. Shots on goal were Latvia 42, Denmark 12. Latvia had 9 saves with Denmark's 36 saves. Latvia went 2 for 6 on the power play with Denmark's 0 for 2 on the power play. Now, let me tell you something. You cannot win games if you don't shoot the puck. And there has been total domination by a lot of teams in the World Juniors, and I have to applaud them. So, way to go. So, pretty much Denmark and Germany have locked up the bottom spots in their groups. So, Germany will probably get the A5, and Denmark will get the B5, and they'll take on each other on the second. But we haven't found out for sure. This game, by the way, that game is for ninth place in the tournament. Okay? But wait, that Coke. But yeah, pretty much we're going to have the last place game between Germany and Denmark. And the winner of that game gets ninth place, the loser gets 10th place. Okay, so let's get into today's games. And through our friends at DraftKings, I'm going to give you who I think will play, who will win. So let's get to it. Okay. Let's see here if I can get it right. Hockey World Junior Championship. Okay. So here we go. We're starting off with Slovakia and Switzerland. Switzerland is 1-0-0 and 2 and 3 points. Slovakia is also 1-0-0 and 2 and 3 points. Now this is where you be the judge on with the money line. Now how this works is the team with the lower number is the favorites, and according to this through DraftKings, Slovakia is the favorites at a minus 105 to Sweden's minus 115. For this game in particular, I'm going Slovakia. Now, puck line is a minus 258 to a plus 210. Total over under is 5.5. Slovakia is over at a minus 120, and under is with Switzerland at plus 100. So if you guys go to, but I am going Slovakia. So we'll see what happens. Next is Chechnya or Czech Republic taking on Latvia. Now, Chechnya is 1-1-0 and 1 and 5 points. Latvia 1-0-1 and 1 and 4 points. And they have Chechnya at the favorites at a minus 900 to plus 550. I'm going Chesney on this one. So, by the way, all these games will be on NHL Network. Please don't. Next is Sweden at the USA, or USA taking on Sweden. And USA and Sweden are both 3-0-0 and 0 with 9 points. So this is going to be a good one. This will also set up the matchup on who will be ranked 1 overall and 2 overall going into the quarterfinals. And Sweden are the favorites at minus 105 to minus 120, but I am going USA because we're the home country. I think we can do it. I have faith in us. And finally, it's Canada taking on Finland. Entering this matchup, Canada is 2-1-0-0 and 8 points. Finland is 2-0-1-0 and 7 points. And Canada are the favorites at minus 340 to a plus 260. And I think Canada could do it. You know, I like Canada. You know, it's the birthplace of hockey and much, much more. So I'm going to go Canada for that matchup. So that's it, folks. We are now done with the World Juniors. We'll find out who plays in the A5 B5 game today. Also, we find out who plays in the 4 quarterfinal games. So we find out. Day off tomorrow. Picks back up on January 2nd. And then day off on the 3rd. Picks back up on the 4th. And there's also games on the 5th. The finale's on the 5th. So thank you very much, folks, for tuning in. As always, please stay safe, take care. Remember what's watching you. And let's go USA!